Hello everyone and welcome to the Enemies Area, and thank you for joining me as we talk about Sword Art Online Alicization War of the Underworld episode 13. And honestly, I have very mixed feelings about this episode. But overall, I think this episode did just enough to actually make me enjoy the episode, minus the leafa segment. So basically, I'm going to start there and give you my thoughts on that segment because I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to establish a way to connect the enemies and the heroes together so that once the war finally ends, it would appear more realistic to us as the viewers when the humans and the Dark Territory members unite. They kind of alluded to this back in episode 12 and 13, where Sinon teamed up with the champion to help tackle the imminent threat that was the humans from the real world coming in and attacking everybody. So, I mean, they've not done this in the past, it's just the way they handled this situation with leafa's character was way out of line and totally unnecessary. Now, I've not read the light novels, so I don't know, if anything was changed or added to this horrific scene, but again, it wasn't necessary to have that particular thing happen to leafa's character in this way. To me, it personally just kind of degrades leafa's character just that little bit more. And again, the scene was used to show just how prejudiced the human empire is towards the different races. Because just because the pig character, he looks like a pig on the outside, he's still technically human on the inside. We see this as like a little bit of a trace in the first season of this particular batch of, I can't remember what episode it is, but basically he's feeling upset and sad because the person he loves is sacrificing her life. This is obviously a human trait, so it kind of alludes to the fact that yes, he may not appear human 100% on the outside, but inside he really is. Now, can you really blame the humans of this world for being a bit prejudiced towards the Dark Territory members and races? Because they were ruled by Quinella. But again, the idea of leafa treating someone of the pig race or of different race as a normal human was basically them sending the message that all people are the same as long as you are respectful, kind, and, as long as you approach someone with an open heart and an open mind. Learn to assess the situation and learn about that person before you start to give your own opinions and your biased thoughts towards them. That's kind of what the whole segment was going about. Yeah, it gave a good scene to the pig character. I can't remember his name, I'm really sorry. Hey, put me in a bias category. But again, I didn't like it. Really, the message behind this scene was great, but the way they kind of approached it wasn't. I don't like leafa's character as a whole, and personally, this personal dislike of mine for leafa's character and her having involvement in this very exposed scene, in where she gets violated in many parts of her, character and areas. Yes, I hate the witch. We're meant to hate this witch because, she's the one who's doing this. And I hate that character. But I'm sick of, these kind of scenes coming up. I hate it at the end of the Elfi arc. I hate it here now. And it was just awkward and unpleasant to watch. However, that being said, this episode has some very amazing segments in it. So let's push away that negativity and let's go to the positive things. Because this episode was, in fact, really good when you take away that one negative point. And let's talk about some of the great scenes. So, Sinon moment and interactions with Kirito, I thought was amazing. This was really impactful because Sinon kind of understood the situation and she kind of helped to be that moral support that Asuna needed. Obviously, Asuna has come into this sort of world. She's been kind of fighting in the outside world as well. She obviously needs a friend at this moment in time. And Sinon's interaction with her in this episode was just great. Because it gave her just what she needed. I like the kind of comment from Kirito's apprentice where she's like, all of his friends are female. She gets a bit jealous. I don't mind. But I think the whole scene itself was just really impactful and really well handled. Sinon even gets a bit of a kiss in there at the end, which, Asuna, you're letting your man slip, girl. Come on. The fight with Berkeley's and the Dark Emperor was great. The animation and the fight choreography was superb, as it helped hype up the Dark Emperor's feats and power, which is displayed in a very overwhelming way. it appears he can kind of slip the consciousness and the focus of a character so that he can basically kind of like walk up on them and do whatever he pleases. Like, this character could have easily killed Hercules. However, he just decides to play with him and figure out what his powers are and kind of almost toy and flex on him. I thought that was brilliant. It really hypes up the character, but Hercules doesn't go down without a fight. And you wouldn't expect him to. After all, he's one of the strongest Argotary Knights. But he's also acting as a parental figure to Alice, and that's what motivates him to greater heights. We're going to see more from him in this fight, so hopefully he goes out with a bang. Do I think he's going to win? Unfortunately not, but I think he's going to reveal a weakness or kind of injure the Dark Emperor in a way that kind of helps our heroes later on. Because this ability that we see from the Dark Emperor, I think the name is Vector, was something to, be a bit afraid about. It's something we haven't seen from the series, so it's a nice breath of fresh air nevertheless. Klein's entrance was really cool. Something I wasn't expecting to say in this review. But Asuna, you have to admit, she put in some great work in this episode. Just look at what her character has gone through, all the fights she's had to endure, and yeah, props to Asuna. But it's only a matter of time until this guy intervenes and tries to end her, which obviously we know isn't going to happen, but we still like to see him try. He's lurking in the background, waiting for his time to pounce, proving that he's got no honour in wanting to fight fairly. He wants Asuna to be worn down a lot until he finally gets a match where he can get his revenge or just beat her or whatever. Who knows at this point? Now, I've spoken about all these great points from this episode, but what really helped make this and these different scenes so great, in my personal opinion? For me personally, what made these scenes brilliant wasn't the animation, wasn't the choreography. That was great, but it wasn't the key factor in my enjoyment for these. It was, in fact, the music. The music and sound effects were on point in every detail and every aspect of this episode. A soft melody for the Sinon part really made you pull at your heartstrings and kind of make it more impactful. Loud explosives and kind of sound effects and sort of moves for Klein's entrance made it that much more epic. Mysterious and ominous vibes and sounds for the Dark Emperor's showcasing. All of these things were on point and perfect. One thing that SAO does very effectively and always delivers on is his music, whether that's in the openings, the outros, or just in the episodes in general. And this episode delivered on that front. The opening music is fantastic. I like the opening. It's not my favourite opening of all time from Sword Art, but it's still very, very good. The visuals of this opening could be spoilers, but since I don't know that, then I'm not going to basically stand here and state they are. But they look incredible and they float really nicely. Overall, I thought this was a great episode, but again, I wish it just replaced or the leafa scene or just handled it differently. It was unnecessary. Apart from that, I love the music. The character designs are all really good. But surely Shion's going to struggle not to cut things with those blades hanging from her character when she's just chilling. I don't know, do they like disappear somewhere? But she can fly. So this means we might be getting that fight between her and the Dark Emperor, which was teased in the last season when Sinon was dreaming. That is something to look forward to. That I'm hoping to see soon. Sinon obviously isn't going to win, but she'll probably come away with something that is worth it in the end. Overall, I liked it. I thought it was great. Apart from that one thing, again, sound like a broken record saying that, but it's something that I've seen a lot of people have disliked about this episode. But hey, that's just my thoughts. Let me know all your thoughts on this episode down in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear what you think of the episode. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new so you never miss a video from me. And until next time, have a great day. Alligator, matane, goodbye.